Alright folks, it's time for another episode of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and we're pretty much over halfway done with this game, but these last few zones are a little bit tougher, and there is some fail and game over in a little bit of this, so just gotta understand that, but it's a fun little romp here, I'll definitely say. It's, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 just happens to be top-notch. I mean, it's easy fun. That's kind of the situation. It's not just fun, but it's easy fun, which I think needs to be kind of calibrated into that kind of equation and shit. I was just trying to say how that goes. But, yeah, I mean, these stages, even the boss fights are going to start getting trickier, but, as long as you have Tails with you or something like that, for the most part, it helps reduce the sheer amount of, annoyingness that you're going to have to deal with. So I've always taken Tails along with me. I know there's some folks out there that don't, but I prefer having the extra benefit. Most of the time, Tails, you're not going to see him too much in stages like this just because I'm always racing forward. Not too many roses I'm going to stop and smell, but Tails does help hit the boss once and maybe twice at most, but for the most part, it's a full-blown ride. That's probably why the Tails is allowed as the CPU, is because they figured you're not gonna really get that far with them. So yeah, I tried doing these special stages just in case you wanted to see what they're like. I'm not gonna try to get Super Sonic. I just didn't see the point in it. Really, what he does, for those who actually don't know, is he just becomes golden yellow, and he's basically invincible, but he eats away at your rings. So that's kind of the situation. It allows you to basically burn through any enemy or task in this game as long as you have the rings to satisfy him, but honestly, I don't think I need the help, so. But yeah, it's a pretty unique idea for the time being, I definitely feel like. It makes me wonder if in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies that are coming out, if we're going to ever see Super Sonic there. It'd be kind of cheesy, but I still would think it'd be decent just to kind of do that. Because yeah, if I haven't talked about it, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was a pretty, fun state of affairs. I'd give it a solid score. Even though it's designed for the younger set, it still was fun, kind of in the sense just because Sonic is kind of a teenager. He's not really a kid. He's, about at that age where you first start trying to drive a vehicle, so that's where Sonic was. So it's just within that setting, a little bit lower than rated R and stuff. But, obviously it's not rated R, but, Sonic's age, you could almost see an R movie, something like that. But it's decent, that's kind of the way it goes. It's just, I don't know how this series is going to go, but, yeah, this game is fun. That's all there is to it. It's just, have some fun with it. I think I actually like this game better than Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Honestly, I'm so used to it, I just would have to kind of say. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is probably the longest of those original games, but it's still relatively fun. This game stands up against it, so. But kind of running out of stuff to talk about here, but that was about as far as that previous playthrough got, so you're going to see a different screen in a little bit. We'll keep going with this playthrough and such. So, Oil Ocean Zone 2. Yeah, I need more Sega games that I can defeat. I know that I would like to be able to, but Sega is really, I've said this how many times, that Sega just is a bastard. And they know that they are. That's kind of the thing, is they just make tough games, so. But, so I do feel like Sonic is probably a little bit tougher than Mario. Not by much, but, it probably can be. With the rings, the idea behind the rings is that it's simple to kind of figure out, but obviously it is going to come into play to where you're going to have to learn to be Sonic without that. So. Yeah, this spring right here is kind of giving me trouble. So here's the situation. one weakness to having Tails is sometimes Tails will hit something and then the enemy will go through its invincibility frame and Sonic will kind of go through the enemy and you'll take damage because the enemy is in its invincibility frame from getting hit by Tails. So if you and Tails are trying to hit the enemy at once, and this really only applies to like the boss characters, but it's something I noticed. I probably wouldn't have died, but the boss in this stage is in a particularly awkward place to try and attack it. And you don't want to be in the oil when you get to it because Sonic will drown and die. He'll sink to the bottom and die. So that's the main reason why I died there, but it's just because of the invincibility frame. So something to pay attention to with Tails is just to kind of say, you know, if you actually have a player 2 as Tails instead, you could probably just have player 2 attack Robotnik and you'd be just fine. But, you know, considering Tails is not going to be able to do it, probably, I figured I'd speed up the process, so. But yeah, this one thing, at least for this world, you know. But I don't know. It's so awkward trying to give advice to people when you do Let's Plays in 2021 just because there's like hundreds and hundreds of people who've done this beforehand, and that's just kind of like the main thing is it's like, you know, you probably get the drill by this point, but it's still fun to kind of interact with some of these things. So this is what I'm talking about here, because yeah, see, Tails fell through and I attacked him. So I kind of like how the sun is all wavy in the background there. It probably implies that it's hot out and such. Definitely like a scorching day. Most of Sonic takes place in the summer, it looks like. But it's just like, yeah. So this next zone, Metropolis Zone, that comes after this is kind of a bastard also. Just happens to be the thing, is I mean, just the enemy placement. Sega was really smart with the enemy placements in that world, because they always have. They know that you're trying to go quick, but if you go too quick, you're gonna bump into some problems. They're very miscreantic. So yeah, that's the thing about this zone, is it goes left, it goes right to left. Sometimes you'll go back left when you're trying to go right, because you know that's the end of the world, is going to the right, so it's trying to trip you up. There's multiple ways to get through this zone. That's kind of the thing. Some of the later games kind of do that. There's a top floor, bottom floor, and medium floor that you can go through to get to the end, but seems like everyone kind of has their different path when they get past these stages. I am hungry. I need some food. I had a frozen pizza yesterday and I'm probably gonna finish that up. Sounds like a plan. I only have one slice left. That just happens. It's kind of the thing there, but I need something else. Just don't know what yet. I almost think I could stand to get some Arby's again, as a matter of fact. Dude, I'm totally getting fucking Arby's and shit, man. I get what you're trying to say, I'm getting Arby's, man. But yeah, so. The Tails wasn't even moving. That was so weird. He was just standing there. That was really weird that Tails was moving like that and he wasn't even moving. So that kind of gives you incentive to kind of watch this twice, because if you are following Tails more so than following Sonic, you essentially have two reasons to kind of watch this playthrough. And that's fun, you know, obviously. Most of the time when I watch a Sonic playthrough, I pay attention to Sonic, but it would give me a sense to say, oh yeah, let's watch Tails and see what he does this whole time. Especially if you have a two-player in there. Yep, see, I almost died there. That would have really pissed me off if I had. Probably would have, I mean, because originally I thought that this playthrough was going to be like 5 parts, but now I think I just added to like a 6th part just because I struggled with this stage and then like Metropolis Zone also. So I actually get a game over in Metropolis Zone, so that's just kind of the thing there. Is well, it's more entertainment for y'all. That's the thing. It basically results in an extra video. I'd rather have it be 6 videos than 5 anyways, so it works. I don't think I should speed through Sonic, despite the fact that that seems like that's the point. Those guys are bastards, those crab things. They know that they're gonna hit you. That's kind of... And the same thing with those starfish. The chocolate starfish, you know. Yep. Chocolate starfish is an anus, for those who don't know Limp Bizkit. That was kind of a bastard thing. Yep, I mean, the thing about Metropolis Zone is it goes all over the place. I mean, you really just have to keep moving forward. There's no other way, because obviously going, well, I don't even want to say move forward. You just have to have some sense of direction, because it's not just left and right in this. Sometimes it's up, sometimes you go right to left, so it's difficult to kind of figure out. I mean, because I've played this game so many times and watched it so many times, I know what to do, but even in some cases, if you just have like a general layout to like video games, you could probably figure this place out, but if you don't, it's going to be hell. So this is one of the worst zones in the game in terms of enemy placement. I don't know if my mouth or my hand muffled that. I kind of was scratching my nose, but in terms of enemy placement, yeah. So I saw on my notifications that Boogie had just gotten the coronavirus vaccine. So he's like, Cobalt and I, we've both gotten the first shot. So that's kind of how that's going to go. But we just got to get that out of the way because I'm itching to kind of get back in motion. I was watching on the news today that they were talking about like dropping like pepper bombs or something like that. Some sort of bomb to get people out of crowds in Miami, because how many people were just going nuts down there. It's kind of the thing. I typically thought that people went to Cancun. I'm surprised that that's not where they're going. You know, during spring break, that's the other way around, but you know, this is kind of, yeah. Yep, so yep, there's 3 zones of this. I just understand that. That's kind of the situation. It's just, they knew that you weren't going to like this zone, so like, oh, we're not done. We're not done at all. This is really like the last full zone in the game. Like, the next one is just the Wing Fortress. The Wing Fortress stages, and then after that, that's the end of the game. So there's only 4 actual zones after this one. So we'll see how much that winds up being. Maybe it'll be 5 parts, maybe it'll be 6. We'll figure it out. But in any case, this is definitely nacho material. Stuff like that. Just trying to think of what else. Alright, so subscribe for more fun. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful night. This is just going to end randomly.